The heroes of our tale, later dubbed the Butterfly Tattoo Murder Club, were complete strangers at first, awakening to find themselves chained together in the back of a large wagon. They broke free from their orcish captors and soon discovered a bounty with their names commissioned by a mysterious Lord Barristan. This previously unheard of patron had ordered these specific individuals to be captured from across the continent and be brought to him in Brunswick. And so began the legendary tale of our intrepid heroes. Commandeering the wagon previously holding them, the party traveled north, driven by two large Ordorn they named Bert and Shirley. They faced an army of wolves, led by a corrupted hermit in the abandoned Benson Manor, dealt with an orcish invasion in Erlenwald, and adopted an owlbear egg. Continuing north, the BTMC explored Osrin, where Alaric briefly turned to stone in a gambling hall. That night, they encountered Alaric's old crew, the Blessed Motley, and their newest member Grod Toddington. Continuing the journey to Brunswick, Alaric had a vision of a divine golden stag leading the party to a long-forgotten Temple of Tempus. Inside the temple, they found a map to a small uninhabited island in the middle of the Shattered Isles. The party would later discover this map to lead them to the location of Kubo's biological family, as well as a powerful artifact known as a divine vestige. Now arriving in Torbin, Riva received word that Viceroy Tessarian Eodwulf had taken control of Venusia in the absence of the assassinated Lord Ristel Ellerin. Newly motivated with what they saw as a more pressing issue, the BTMC then sold their wagon and chartered an airship to travel southeast to Venusia to rescue Lord Ellerin's daughter, Teriani Ellerin, from the new tyrant. Boarding the skyscraper, the party encountered a tiefling stowaway named Oriax and faced further complications as he jumped ship with a large supply of narcotics and flew off with an enchanted cloak. In exchange for continued passage to Venusia, they agreed to assist the crew of the skyship in obtaining golden honey from giant fig wasp hives. Upon reaching Venusia, the party discovered Teriani was missing and had run off into the wilderness on her own. Sneaking around the city to find clues, they were confronted at knife point by a close friend of Riva's, Riliana Tandor, who then joined up with the BTNC to rescue Teriani from hags in Myrtle's Marsh. After rescuing Teriani from the hags, they discovered a strange gem embedded in her chest. This prompted them to travel to Corona and visit Needle, Kubo's master and adoptive father, to receive guidance on their situation. Before leaving, the group searched Lord Ristel Ellerin's estate, discovering the Lord's Journal. The journal contained evidence of Eodwulf's role in the Church of the Deep Sky and disclosed the identity of Alaric's father to be none other than Lord Ristel Ellerin. On the way to Corona, the BTNC were ambushed by a pack of wyvern that managed to kill the captain of the skyship and seriously wound many of those on board. With the passing of the previous captain, the chain of command naturally fell to Miles Stonetree, formerly the first mate. Accepting his new role, Miles decided to remain with the BTNC as their pilot and chef, following the divine guidance provided by his beans. The beans never lie. After a quick detour to Vaxport to offload some narcotics to the Gelfune crime syndicate, the BTNC arrived in Corona, the capital of the Elven-Ecumen Empire and Kubo's hometown. While Needle investigated Teriani, the BTNC explored Corona and participated in the Gondwana tournament, taking first place and earning themselves a keep. Later in the week, the Blessed Motley confronted them, leading to a deadly encounter where Todd claimed his family's sword from his fallen brother. Now wielding Thunderfang, a mighty sword meant for a devout follower of Tempus, Todd Toddington acquired the BTMC's first divine vestige. Shortly after, the BTMC were detained by the Order of the Silver Talon, a royally appointed guild for highly sensitive matters of national security. The BTMC faced interrogation regarding their alleged involvement in the assassination of Lord Ristel Ellerin and their harboring of Riva, the primary suspect. After clearing their names, they met with King Matthias Charmont and his council, presenting their evidence. Despite council reluctance, King Charmont agreed to investigate Tessarian Eodwulf and the organization the Church of the Deep Sky. Delegating the investigation to Silver Talon agents, the BTNC set off eastward to a new continent, the Shattered Isles. Following the map they previously discovered to search for another powerful artifact and uncover Kubo's biological family history. Waylaid by a violent tempest, the BTNC were forced to seek refuge on a desolate island dominated by a colossal lighthouse. Shortly after docking, they found the island overrun by undead, guarding an abyssal artifact called the Orb of Dread. Defeating the undead and absconding with the artifact, the BTNC continued their journey onto the Effluvian Atoll, where they would finally uncover Kubo's celestial lineage. Finding the island seemingly uninhabited, they uncovered traces of a powerful ritual that hinted at a dark pact made long ago. Deep in the heart of the island, they were unwittingly drawn into a sinister scheme of ancient prophecies and forgotten lore. The BTNC, influenced by the chaos of the abyssal artifact, inadvertently released the avatar of Nyarlathotep onto the unsuspecting plains. Arriving from the clouds, Kubo's people, the Grun Cathor, quickly returned and attempted to help the BTMC reseal this abomination, but were unsuccessful as the abyssal entity escaped. Following this battle, the chieftain of the Grun Cathor approached Kubo and began to unravel many things about their celestial heritage to both Tempest and Melora. They also learned that Kubo was kidnapped as a hatchling by his master, Needle, rather than being rescued as previously believed. The chieftain then guided them to their second divine vestige, the Bands of the Storm, capable of aiding in the battle against the avatar of Nyarlathotep. Having acquired a helm of teleportation, the BTMC's next move was to immediately travel back to Corona, confronting Needle for his deception. However, they were interrupted as the avatar of Nyarlathotep arrived, opening a void gate in the heart of the king's palace, killing tens of thousands of civilians. Needle confronted the horde head-on, giving his life to allow time for the BTNC to escape through the sewers. Outside of Corona, the party experienced vivid dreams and learned of the distant destruction in Brunswick brought on by another void gate with an abyssal Tarrasque. With the Church of the Deep Sky's plan of abyssal assimilation now in full motion, the BTMC teleported to Pike to rendezvous with Miles. After resupplying, the BTMC set off in search of more divine vestiges to save the realm of Sanctuary from the ongoing abyssal invasion. They traveled west over the Aquan Expanse, guided by an increasing number of prophetic dreams, reaching the Ishtari kingdom of Tavar, where they met Inca, an Orc spiritual leader, and uncovered the manipulations of the Gold Lightning Agency over the Orcish motherlands. Infiltrating the agency's pyramid headquarters, they discovered plans to attack an excavation site and destroy a sacred artifact of Pella. Battling hordes of undead, they faced Ilmontrix, the leader of the Gold Lightning Agency, and Onnastral of the Church of the Deep Sky. After defeating them, they acquired a thorium crystal to enhance the skyscraper's arcane capabilities. Following the intel gathered from Tavar, the BTNC traveled to an excavation site deep in the Vatun Desert to obtain their third divine vestige, Honor's Last Stand. Mopping up the remaining Gold Lightning Agency forces, the BTNC went inside the excavated Temple of Pella, where they were tested by Eos, the Sphinx. Passing the test, Reva obtained Honor's Last Stand and unlocked latent abilities for the BTNC. As the progeny of Ioun, goddess of knowledge, Eos was able to uncover the motive behind the BTMC's initial abduction and the patrons who commissioned it. They learned the Church of the Deep Sky has spent ages infiltrating many of the highest organizations across Sanctuary. Wielding a stolen palantir, the Church of the Deep Sky foresaw their defeat by the BTNC and sought to eradicate them early. With the abyssal shard in Terriana's chest now beginning to worsen, the BTMC followed their divine visions to the east towards the Endless Wood for a cure and additional celestial artifacts. Before leaving, the BTNC invested funds to bolster the Tavari people before their departure. Shortly into their voyage, they were attacked by Apophis, the gilded tyrant dragon, resulting in many grave injuries and forcing them to retreat via experimental teleportation. Arriving in the Endless Wood, the BTMC clashed with Platt lumberjacks exploiting the sacred forest, which led to meeting the Drow of the Emishi tribe. After earning the tribe's trust, they were invited to experience the great forest spirit's cosmic dance, blessing their quest and providing guidance through the endless wood. Newly blessed, the BTMC continued their pilgrimage through the endless wood, eventually arriving in the Evermoon Glade, the spiritual center of the forest. Here they held off waves of Platt forces as the great forest spirit worked to cure Terriani of her abyssal infection. The void shard, once firmly implanted in Terriani's chest, collided with another void shard in Riliana's possession to form the abyssal vestige, Event Horizon. As the remnants of the Platt forces were extinguished by the Amishi tribe, the great forest spirit judged Alaric worthy and granted him a primordial vestige, the Antlers of the Deepwood. Taking advantage of the abilities gained from the Antlers of the Deepwood, the BTMC established a new home base within this Deni Plain. Utilizing a ritual taught to them by the Amishi tribe, the BTMC acquired materials to establish permanent teleportation points to the Deepwood with the Amishi tribe in the Endless Wood and the Grun Cathol in the Affluvian Atoll. Todd took this opportunity to use the Helm of Teleportation to travel to his hometown Astora, in the far west, to try and warn his estranged family of a coming starfall they learned about in the Gold Lightning Agency former headquarters. Unfortunately, Todd's family refused to hear him out after learning of the death of his brother Grodd. With a renewed banishment, Todd went back to regroup with the BTMC. After a short break, the BTMC continued on their quest to Thorin, nestled in the hollow Melodic Mountains. Following Flint's dreams of his parents needing rescue somewhere in the depths of the Underdark, the BTMC gathered some intel around Thorin and set off to find them. Following guide stones left by Flint's mother, the party traversed through ever deeper layers of the Underdark, eventually rediscovering the Foundry of Divine Creation, a lost temple to Abathor. After repairing a series of contraptions and navigating through traps within the Foundry, Flint acquired the divine vestige known as Abathor's Cradle. Outside the temple, the BTMC were reunited with Flint's parents and together confronted a biomechanical behemoth emerging victorious. Regrouping at the Deepwood Nexus to rest and plan, Todd experienced a vision from his goddess Melora, empowering him to forge his own path, while Flint and his parents utilized Abathor's Cradle to construct a new forge and craft a powerful new weapon. They spent the following morning discussing the details gathered about the Platt estate and planned their revenge on Norrin Platt. Putting their plans into motion, the infiltration began quickly through the drains of the hidden mining facility below the Platt estate. The BTMC made quick work of the Platt enforcers and freed the captives held within. After clearing out the mines, the party went up into the residential area of the estate and found the key to Norrin Platt's secret laboratory and went to confront him face to face.